The Tasmanian tiger, or the thylacine, became extinct in 1936, surely, right? Well, here's what I mean. Hi, my name is Mr. Paleontologist, or Ivan, and this is the Extinct Exhibit Podcast, Episode 2, titled The Thylacine Mystery. What I wanted to talk to you guys about today is why I believe the Tasmanian tiger is actually still alive and out there in the world. And this is actually coming from a very credited source that I have a bunch of sources actually I'm going to be talking about today. But one of the most popular ones I have is it's titled, Why I Believe the Tasmanian Tiger is Still Alive. It's by Forrest Gallant, who this is a YouTuber who's a registered biologist and makes biologist videos. The date was created on February 1st, 2024. And this features a biologist, one of the most well-respected biologists in the world, Nick Mooney. He said he saw 2 Tasmanian tigers midday when he walked outside of his tent one day. And this was in the middle of the day, one of the most well-respected biologists in the world. And this is coming from him, and this has actually happened a couple of years ago, but he said he didn't want to be like a crazy, seem like a crazy person when he put this story out there in the world, because he was worried he'd sound a little crazy and stuff. So he just said he'd keep this to himself until he found someone to tell it to. And that's what this is coming on about. My second point I would like to point out to you is that in the viewings or sightings that we have seen of the Tasmanian tiger, they've all been by the villagers of certain villages in Papua New Guinea, Australia, and I think New Mexico. And this is very believable because these villagers, they see a lot from these villages. These people, they're always in the forest. That's because that's where the villages are and stuff. So they see a lot of wildlife. And there's been times where there's this one story that this biologist has where this villager actually had seen a Tasmanian tiger, had 2 Tasmanian tigers, and he actually didn't know that they were they're extinct species. And so one of them died in his child months, and then the other one he had lived out his whole life, and then he died, and then they ate it. So they couldn't get the remaining specimens, because they ate the specimens actually. They ate the dogs after, which was a bit concerning for the researchers because they needed concrete proof that this animal was still alive, and that was hard. But from these villagers, there's a lot of villagers that see him, and I still believe from these points, from the second point here, that the Tasmanian tiger is actually still out there. And I will finally finish that off with point 3. I think my final part about this, or the third area that I would like to talk about it is that this thing was declared extinct in the early 1900s. And the thing I have the problem with, the issue I have with it, is that since it was declared extinct in the early 1900s, the technology we have today to declare a species extinct, like we can travel the world and do all that stuff, it's a little more diverse, where you can tell if that species is actually extinct. And since this was declared in the earlier 1900s, there wasn't enough technology, I don't think, to fully declare the species extinct. We didn't have all these fancy technology, such as special camera equipment or drones or special cameras that can detect things that were actually put out at night to see if the species was actually extinct. And I think without that enough information, I think me positively can declare the species still not extinct yet because of the different cameras that we have nowadays to declare if a species is actually extinct, and based off all of the evidence of there actually being a bunch of different sightings from different people and not just one specific person. In conclusion, I would like to thank all of my listeners from both platforms I go on. My first platform is YouTube. Thank you for all watching. I've just reached 50 subscribers. Thank you very much for watching. And then the next is TikTok. I have around 80 followers, or 90. Actually, I think I have about 100 now followers. And thank you much for watching on that platform. If you want to follow those both platforms, it's at Mr. Paleontologist. And if you consider, just please follow all those. And in the next episode, we will be talking about why the woolly mammoth is going to be brought back by Colossal, and what's the reason it's being brought back. And just thank you once again, and that is Extinct Exhibit, and have a good day.